what do the farmers on the panel think about what urban Australians actually need to know about food production systems?
That it's challenging for us, but we are we produce a great product that is raised under sort of challenging circumstances, but in an environmentally responsible manner. And so I think there's a great message out there around quality, and but also that triple bottom line to bring this to their plates.
Well, firstly, I'm going to make a comment about food tourism, which I think food tourism is wonderful, but for some people, the closest they get to it is a trip to the supermarket. And so they are our great food buyers, the people who go to the supermarket with their busy lives. How we use supermarkets to expose people to food and expose people to information about agriculture, I think is very underdeveloped. And the whole notion of fair prices for food back to farmers could be a major message in our supermarkets. So our allegiance with our supermarkets and how we can actually engage urban consumers, I think we really need to look at. The other thing that I think is really interesting about urban people, again, it's my comment about them not understanding us. It should be the other way around. I think urban people have some major concerns about food. They're concerned about safety, food safety and quality. They're concerned about animal welfare. They're concerned about the environment. They're concerned about nutrition. And they need to see us as the food producers as people who are totally on board with them, that they are also our concerns. And I think there's a bit of sort of adversary relationship where urban people tend perhaps to criticise producers and we actually just get defensive. Whereas we really should be out there at the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival this weekend where people are going to eat fantastic food, but I bet there is nothing there about the nutrition of their food, how it was produced, anybody cutting down a carcass so that they can see what happens. There might be that. But I think that our food and wine festivals are, again, a platform for joining with our urban food consumers in a way that makes us all on the same page.
Just quickly add, we do have an Australian Year of the Farmer Roadshow van at the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. But otherwise it was an excellent example.
That's great.
Well, Alana, it sounds like you're talking about the social licence to farm, which is a topic, I suppose, that's been around in the media for a few months now. Now, I know Charlie says that farmers hate that term. Can you tell us why farmers don't like that term, social licence to farm?
Oh, well, at the end of the day, we're talking about building consumer trust and confidence in Australian agricultural production and production techniques. You know, individual farmers have their concerns about some kind of, you know, you've got to go through a licensing or some kind of formal process. It's not about a formal process. It's about constantly, you know, as I said, building that consumer trust and confidence. You know, so there is, you know, we're trying to keep some of the focus on some of those issues. But whatever you call it, I mean, the issue is still the same. It's really about making sure that there is that understanding about what farmers do and why they do it, but in a way that builds that connection and make sure that the empathy that is currently there, which I do believe is there for the Australian farming community, is retained and strengthened. And what does the NFF hope at the end of the year of the farmer, will have achieved for farmers? Sure. Well, I mean, we're very positive about the Year of the Farmer, but it's the start of the process, not the end of it. I mean, we've very much leveraged off the Australian Year of the Farmer, starting our blueprint, the NFF blueprint process, and picking up on a lot of the issues that you've raised here today. You know, it's about engaging not just with the NFF membership, which we realise can at times seem quite big and unwieldy and hard to engage with, recognising that we need to engage with the broader stakeholders. It's the consumers, it's the retailers, it's the supply chain right through the whole way. And so using the Australian Year of the Farmer, leveraging off that into the blueprint process to really get a better understanding about where does everyone want the future of agriculture to be? Where do we see these current challenges that we face? And we're at this this real juncture at the moment where we're talking about agriculture and land use change and mining versus agriculture. There's this great demand at the Asian, in the Asian region, and everyone keeps on talking about that. We've also got the demand for energy. We've got the demand for biodiversity services, for carbon services. A lot of the policy underpinning these issues, where it could really determine where Australian farming does go. So we see the Year of the Farmer talking about leading into that blueprint process of where do we see the vision going, because I think that's going to be really important for underpinning our future agenda.
And David, how will you measure the success of it at the end of the year, and do you hope that it is long lasting?
Yeah, absolutely. We hope that it's long lasting. It's hard to talk about these sort of things without sort of going into sort of more motherhood statements, that we do hope that the divide is bridged a little bit and all that sort of thing, and that we do have this lasting impact. But we do, and some of the legacy programs we think where we can get the most traction beyond the immediate things like the roadshow and the TV program and billboards and major highways and all that stuff where we're trying to interact with the urban population is through, and it goes right back to the very start when you asked me this, through curriculum and getting into schools at the level there and starting to educate the next generation coming through, such that there's this whole new wave of kids coming through that now understand that when they do go to the supermarket, that they're interacting with farmers and the importance of Australian agriculture to society more generally, and how it filters down through all the job opportunities and all of that sort of stuff. So I think that's what we would hope beyond 2012.
And Fleur, what do you hope? You're a farmer. What do you hope they will have achieved at the end of the year?
I just think it's about the connection and having an understanding. So really, it's not about what divides us, but what is common. And the focus on that. What do we share? What's important to us? I think that we all want the same thing, and sometimes I think we're so busy looking at what's different, we forget to see what's the same.
Okay.